It is live. Let me double check here and make sure we are good. There we go.
Right.
Oh gosh.
All right. Awesome. Audio's good. I saw you beating drums or something there, Warden.
What? Just the fucking badminton or whatever?
Yeah.
Where does it go live on? Silly question, but like YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, on my channel.
Okay.
Yeah, audio's good across for all three of us, so awesome.
Solid.
All right. Cool. I'm going to mute it on my laptop so I don't listen to all of us talk twice. All right. So thank you guys for joining. Welcome to episode 2 of the Weekend Warrior podcast. This episode's topic is sponsored teams. I've got Gabe or Masterkey from SRT or Strategic Response Team. Gabe, say hi.
What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing?
And I've also got Warden from Six Ronin Airsoft Team, also here as well.
So,
and then joining us in probably 10-20 minutes we'll have Ryan or Simba from PaladinOhio. He'll say hi when he gets on. So let's go ahead and start this off with one of the couple questions I got prepared here. Then we'll just let it go on into a ramble.
Oh boy.
First question I got for you guys. How do you get sponsored? How have you guys gotten sponsors?
You want to start? Go ahead, Warden. You can start.
Sure. So I think when it came to us, because our first sponsor was High Precision Airsoft up in Canada, actually, it all started with a connection that our now team president Rogue made as a member of the sniper ops community. One guy that he would usually talk with started a business up there, and since he's a shop that specializes in sniper parts, he actually reached out to Rogue and asked if he and his team would like have a sponsorship there. And so with that, having that connection definitely got us into the door, but it's also been how we've presented ourselves and how we've acted both on and off the field that has helped us to keep that sponsorship and maintain that sponsorship, which is really helpful because he also provides us with a good deal on G-off BBs, which, if regardless of whether you're someone who's an individual or part of a team, having a sponsor that can help you get discounts on quality BBs is very crucial.
Without BBs, you can't play.
Oh, exactly.
Right.
Unless you're me and you decide to run with the sword.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I do. I was talking about that story of you at Paintball Explosion when you ran around and killed like almost the entire other team with your sword at Nuketown. I can't remember who I was telling it to, but they thought it was great.
Oh my gosh. Oh, proudest moment.
Yes, it was great.
So I'll go ahead next. You guys are ready? So definitely the biggest thing for me is you just have to play. Like, you have to play a lot, all the time. And, if money's an issue, then, that makes sense. But there's definitely a lot of cheap, $20, you go into an open play. I really didn't try to start getting sponsored until a year ago, which is crazy because I've been playing for 15 years. Literally since I was like, I'm almost 30 now, but I've been playing since I was 15 years old. And I just started trying to get sponsorship. So they definitely don't fall into your lap. You have to work for them, and you have to make yourself visible on social media, which is hard when there's a lot of people trying to be visible. It's not just you. Everybody wants to get a sponsorship. Everybody wants to be, Alphonse. Everybody wants to be famous. So you're competing against a lot of other people. So you have to offer something that maybe somebody else doesn't offer. Maybe a different style of video. Maybe. So what I actually did, which was crazy and nobody thought it would work, I was like, I want to take video, but I also want to take pictures, because I figured that was the easiest way for me to get follows, is taking pictures of a bunch of random people I don't know. because then they're going to follow my page, whatever. And it's actually worked really well. I've went up like crazy in the last year just from starting doing video editing, and all that. And then also with sponsors, I want to say, like, don't just try to get sponsored to be sponsored. Like, have a reason. Like, you want to get sponsored by a company because either you really like that company, you are already buying something from them, or it's something that you can use for your team or your individual, like if, Lone Wolf Tactical, something that you're going to use. For example, we're sponsored by 3 companies right now. Mirror Tactical, obviously. We get discounts on their events. We were already going to their event, so that made sense to us. HPA BBs, we needed BBs, to a high quality BB that we're going to use all the time. So now we get, a discount on BBs. And then the last one we just got it's called Triforce Tactical. They do real steel training for civilians. So now we have a company that's just going to train us, make us better on the field. So like I said, I don't think you should get a sponsor unless you have a reason for it. Don't just be like you want a sticker on your gun that says you're sponsored. Like, have something behind it. So that was kind of that.
Solid.
Yeah, I agree. One major piece of advice that I got from Sinister, or call sign Sinister, or Justin, was don't go after sponsors that you have no use for. If they're off, they sell a product that you don't use, or like all their products is just something you don't use, then what's the reason for a sponsorship to them? Look at companies products that you're already using and loving, which is something that I've done when I've pursued different companies. Just go after companies that have products that you use and love. Something that you really can get behind.
Definitely.
Oh, looks like Ryan's not able to connect.
Oh,
See if I can get him in here.
Stand by, folks. Do we have some like background music we can play?
Elevator music?
Yeah, technical difficulty.
Not that I am skilled enough to add in here.
Gosh dang it.
Let's see if I can send him the link here. See if this will work.
Yeah, it just, for me, I had to like click on the accept all the rules and regulations, and then it let me go right in. So I think that's what stopped me the first time.
Okay, let's see if this works for him.
I don't like all the rules and conditions, red tape.
Yeah.
Cross your fingers, boys.
Oh yeah.
Is it 6 Ronin or Ronin 6?
Six Ronin. Six Ronin. Yeah. It originally started out with just like 6 guys, and they're like, yeah, 6 is a good team group of guys to run with. And they did not stop at that. So
6 grew to 20.
yeah, no joke. Oh my gosh.
You guys must be close back to that number now, aren't you?
Crazy.
I saw you had a couple new members.
Yeah, we have. It's although we're trying to focus a lot more on getting people who will want to go to more events, and a lot of the airsoft community is, I don't know, they just seem more open to pickup games and open play, and we're trying to get into the more Milsim direction. So I feel like that's kind of narrowed down the pool of people who might be interested in joining. But still, I mean, as long as you have a good group of guys, you got that chemistry going, it's a great time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Let's see. I'm just responding to Ryan here.
He might need to create an account.
Ooh, yeah. Does he have a Gmail account?
Well, yeah, the one that he used was Gmail.
He needs to create an account.
A Hangouts account?
Yeah, a Hangout account. Because that's what I had to do.
Mine was already set up. I may have created one a while ago.
But yeah, no, Masterkey. What I really liked about your take on that was making sure you do have a need, or that you're identifying a need for being sponsored, and just sticking with those, because you don't want to be throwing yourself out there to sponsors, and you pick up a few, but you really don't need them. Like, say you get, say you're someone who is running by themselves, and you decide to pick up a sponsor from HP Airsoft, but you don't really snipe.
Yeah.
And then and then you get someone else trying to pick you up, but if they're both retailers, it's going to be a conflict of interest, which in that case, you start to get into a realm of politics that you really wouldn't want to get into in the first place, especially because, with Airsoft, it's all about just getting out there and having fun.
Yeah. So another thing I forgot to mention, and I kind of didn't think about this, a lot of people that I have talked to that are trying to get sponsored want to get sponsored to get gear. And I don't really understand that. I guess because I've been playing so long, I have everything I would ever need.
Right.
Besides training, BBs, and events, which is the 3 sponsorships that I have.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I mean, if somebody wants to sponsor us at this point, like, yeah, that's cool. If something falls into our lap, but I'm very happy with 3 sponsors we have, and I'm not really sure why you would try to get into Airsoft to get sponsored when you don't have the gear in the first place.
Exactly.
It's like I get that you get like 20% off or whatever it may be, off some company's stuff, but it's like I don't really have a need for that because I've already accumulated everything over the years that I would need. So
Right. And then once you do get sponsored by those gear retail shops, you already have the gear. It's like what's the point? I mean, yeah, that Cry Precision vest is looking mighty nice and fancy, but that's like 7-8 different open plays you can go to for that thing.
Yeah. Actually, there's one sponsorship, the only one that I would want that I don't have.
Ooh, what's that one?
That I may never have, but I'm okay with that. Umbrella Armories.
Oh yeah.
I actually have 3 of their guns now.
Jeez.
So I have to be making a dent in their inventory. They must know who I am.
You may be making a small dent in their inventory, but they're making a big dent in your wallet.
Yeah.
No joke.
So I just ran yesterday was the first day I fielded my new one was the Umbrella Crytek. It's unbelievable. Like the range, the groupings, it's crazy.
Okay.
I was
Solid.
very happy. It's like the first gun that made me want to switch back from Polar Star.
Are you bringing any of their guns out to Pandora?
Yeah, I'll be using the same gun. I actually am kind of sad that I had to fix their mag. But it's funny that I spent $1,500 on the gun, and I feel like they give you like this $10 mag. It's not $10, but it's not like the highest quality made magazine. So
Right.
But what was happening? The weight of the BBs is so heavy, the mag actually sits lower, so it won't feed. So regular M4 mags, it was feeding flawlessly. Like I think it's at 28 rounds a second is what it's at. But I would have to hold the mag in while I was shooting, and I'm like, this is stupid. So I put a piece of Velcro on it and ran it over the top of the gun to the other side of the mag. It kind of looks a little ghetto, but for the fact that I can feed flawlessly, I'm gonna take it. So, I'll look at getting it. But I don't want to send it back to California. I'm like, I just got it. I don't want to have to send it back. They're going to take a month to look at it. Like, the gun itself works. It's just the mag doesn't want to sit in there. I'm like, I'll fix it myself.
Right. Have you tried maybe putting Velcro inside the mag well and on the mag as well, so it just, once you pop it in there, it sticks up in there?
That's the next thing. But it's not the angle, it's the height.
Right. Okay.
Like I said, I can't physically make the mag go up higher. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I might try that too, though, with like something in the magwell. I've done that before, but the tape or whatever, it usually falls out after time. So then it's like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I did in my 416 because I picked up Murder Mags. You can actually see, right?
Oh yeah, I can see the little red mark at the bottom of the mag.
Yeah, like right. Hold on, I'm trying to find my finger.
Hey, just a little bit
Like
more to your
right up
right,
there.
your left.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more. Other way, bud.
This way. No, this way.
Yep. Oh, almost got it. Almost got it. Yeah,
Right
close
there.
enough.
Okay, yeah. You can see the 416 magwell is larger than normal. So when I fit the murder mag in, it would feed one BB and then it wouldn't feed at all.
Yeah.
So I didn't learn about this until after the opening rush at the mall game
Oh
in Milwaukee.
no.
So I made that first opening rush with Airsoft Alphonse and Dutch, and we got up like to the middle of the map, and I leaned over that counter and let off one shot and went a couple more times and nothing. It was really annoying. So I finally fixed it. Put a couple pieces of Velcro in there, thanks to Sinister, and now it feeds flawlessly.
So what was
I had to buy mags for the event.
Did you have the next question there ready for us?
Yeah. Let's see. All right. What does getting sponsored mean?
I took the first one last time. You want to take this one, Master Key?
Sure. So as far as what it means, the biggest reason like I said before, I didn't get into sponsorship for like I would be fine if we didn't have discounts, on stuff. It helps the team a lot because we're becoming a larger team. But the biggest thing it means to me is just visibility. You have this large company that now aligns themselves with you, and you guys are doing things together, whatever it may be. You know, they're gonna share your posts, you're gonna share their stuff, things like that. And I've also begun to realize too, it's very mutual. I don't know, like Verizon. I don't know how Verizon does stuff like that. Like a cell phone company with another company. I don't know how that works as far as, you're just paying money for something and then they do it for you. But I'm learning in airsoft, it's more if 50-50. Like you may be sponsored by them, but you're promoting them, and at the same time they're promoting you, which is fine. It's good for both parties, and it's not like you have to spend a bunch of money to get sponsorship. I'm sure you can, but I don't think it's necessary. There's definitely companies out there that are going to want to sponsor you if you're well known enough. You don't have to be like countrywide famous, but even if you and your team are known in one state, because you play a lot, they're going to want to invest money into you. They're going to want to invest time into you. So
Definitely. I'd say for me as well, which is really more just going to be an add-on to what you said, because I think you hit it pretty much on the head with that answer, is when you're out there, you're not only just representing yourself or your team, you're representing multiple organizations. So if you're getting out there and, someone's not calling your hits and you're constantly like trying to call them out on it, being that guy, it's not only people aren't only going to look at you and think you're that guy, but they're going to associate that with the people you're being sponsored by. So you want to make sure that you have a good attitude when you're out there on the field, and you're taking your hits gracefully. And if someone is, causing problems for people on the field, you don't let that get to you, because if you're acting in the heat of the moment and you're letting your emotions get to you, that's going to end up reflecting on the organizations, the groups, and the businesses that are associated with your name as a result of you being sponsored.
it's funny to go off of that. Just a tidbit there, Warden,
Mm-hmm.
is everything. It's 2019. People are recording everything, even in especially in airsoft. Everything's getting recorded. So if you're gonna play like an asshole, somebody's gonna have it on camera.
Yep, and all of a sudden it's, hey, this guy's an asshole. Wait, they're sponsored by so and so. Okay, don't buy this from them anymore.
Right? Yeah.
Good way.
That's huge.
Good way to lose sponsors. Definitely. Just it's a very, you scratch our back, we scratch yours, but it can go both ways.
Mm-hmm. Companies can get a bad rep from players that don't act accordingly.
Yeah.
Aren't respectful.
Yeah. So if if anyone watching or listening to this is not sponsored and they're trying to get sponsored, definitely take what Master Key is saying and take what I'm saying as well, because this is coming from people who are representing these companies, you know, you need to make sure you're getting your name out there. You need to make sure that you're offering something to them and that you're willing to show off what they have, and they'll in turn show off what you have to offer as well to the community. But if you're being a negative force in the airsoft community, they will most likely not want to represent you anymore, and they will not want to be associated with you. So make sure that you are someone who is viewed more as at the very least, a positive force.
Yeah.
Something that helps grow the community and shows airsoft in a good light.
Exactly.
All right, let's see what else I've got here. Unless anybody has anything else to add on that.
I think we covered that pretty well.
Oh, one little thing on that too, and this is not exactly on that same topic, but I think as far as representing airsoft and when you're representing sponsors, I really don't like the people that only do like the cheater videos, because it's like people know it happens, but if that's all you're gonna post, people are gonna think like that you're not having a good time. Like you're going to airsoft and you're playing and you're just getting those cutscenes where people are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's not what people want to see. You know, people don't want to see like all your videos are just about people that cheat. Like, yeah, it happens, it sucks, but you make the best of it. And what people want to see is you having a good time. Like when you're making jokes and laughing, you know, like even if you're losing, whatever, if you're having a good time and you're getting kills, whatever, that's what people want to see in an airsoft video. You know, you don't have to be a comedian, but you know, don't take it too seriously.
Definitely.
I totally agree. I am not a fan of cheetah videos. I watch them, but you will never see a cheater video on my channel. It doesn't promote airsoft well.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
Definitely. Like in all honesty, what purpose does it serve except to expose someone who is cheating and no one really knows the name of that person? You know?
Yeah. A big thing for me with that is I was talking to somebody about this just recently. You never know, unless you talk to the player that you had that encounter with, you never know if it was intentional or unintentional. They could have just not felt it, because even, I don't know, 15 BBs to a plate carrier, well, if they've got ear pro on, they might not even hear it. They won't feel it. They might not even hear it. It looks like they're blatantly cheating, but you never know. Unless it's obvious and you've spoken to the player afterwards. When you post a video highlighting that makes that player look awful when they might not have even been their fault.
Exactly.
I haven't realized it. I've had problems before where I've gotten hit, then I haven't heard it, I haven't felt it, and then I've got somebody running up after me yelling at me about it, and I'm like, I didn't even know.
Right.
I just see it puts in situations where it's accidental or unintentional. I just see that it puts that player in a bad light.
Meanwhile, you got these videos of people out there acting like goofballs, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, I want to get in on that. They're having a great time out there.
Right. Yeah.
Remember one video actually with Tactical Idiots? They posted this a long while ago. But like one of their guys got hit, so he actually like does like the Nilsson death, falls down on the ground, and the guy with the camera runs up. And he's like, "No, hang on, buddy, I got you." And he pulls out like a Ziploc bag and makes a taco on top of him and feeds it to him, trying to resuscitate him. And his friend just goes, "Your tacos suck." And he dies right there, and the guy just like flies into like this grief and rage. It was, oh my gosh. It's that kind of stuff that makes you really want to get out there, you know?
Mm-hmm. That sounds awesome. Moments that we play for.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll jump into another question here. What is getting sponsored done for your team? How has it completely benefited you?
BBs.
You want to start with that one, Warden?
Yeah, definitely. So BBs, like we said before, it has helped us with getting BBs as well as getting into new parts of the game of the airsoft gaming community. So as I was saying earlier, HP Airsoft, they have BBs and some stuff that as a general player you can use, but since they specialize in a lot of sniper customization and parts, um, in which not a lot of people on our team actually really do that except for Rogue. So most of us are just mostly interested in the BBs, or back when he had some uniforms with another vendor. However, it helps because I've actually been kind of interested in getting into the sniping scene myself now. So I actually have that resource that I can use now if I want to, build my own sniper rifle and get the tips and the help that I need in order to be someone who specializes, or not specializes, but starts to take on sniping, whether it's in like that urban combat sniper with those guys running around from building to building, or someone who makes their leaf suits and just lies waiting in a bush for someone to walk by before they take that shot. So it helps you. It helps to broaden your specializations and your play style, especially when you're taking on sponsorships like that.
Good. One more. What was it again?
What
What is positively for you?
Yeah, what is getting sponsored done for your team? How has it benefited you?
Okay. So the number one thing where this was actually where a problem arose is why we looked into getting sponsored. We obviously started playing with a vehicle. We have a very, very large technical. You're going to get to see it next week.
Lucky.
I know. I'm not looking forward to it.
Hey, do me a favor and light them up.
Yeah, it's got two classic Army miniguns. So two things it does. Yeah, we actually have 6 scuba tanks for it now because we ran out of air when we went to Alabama, and I was really upset. Like, I can't even tell you, because it was the second day, and I was like, without the miniguns, we're like a giant paperweight. Like, we can't do much but drop people off. So I was so upset. So we went out and got 4 more scuba tanks. So now we'll never run out. But the two biggest things that we realized very quickly is that we go through an insane amount of ammo, and the gas to get to our events is ungodly. To go to Alabama and back, it's $700 for my truck. Just my one truck. Usually we take more than one vehicle. But it's just because of how large it is. It's on 35-inch mudding tires. It's not aerodynamic. It's not a diesel. Diesel would probably be better. It's a gas V10. So that was kind of the first thing that, and I talked to Mir, and I was like, I love going to your guys' events, and I want to go to more, and I want to represent you guys, but our truck is crazy bad on gas. What can you do to help us out? So they in turn, give us discounts, and now my team can show up to more of their event, which is good for them because I know that we provide an experience for the players. There's not. You can't tell me that a technical at an event is not cool. Like, it just adds something different to the event. You have to hide from a truck when it drives by, or you're the guy that has the rocket launcher and you're like, I get to take out a vehicle. It's something different for both sides. And then going to HPA BBs is the BBs. This is what, May? I just ordered my second order of 20 bottles this year. We've already went through 20 bottles from HPA of the 3,300 bottles, and we have our next 20 coming in. And we're not even at 6 months. So that's just, like I said, that's that one thing it's done huge for us is we have a source now where our whole team gets BBs from. We were kind of all over the place. Everybody kind of used different weights, different kinds, which we realize is huge, is everybody has the same weight. That's really big for your team. Especially if you all have M4s, you all have the same weight BB. Hey, I need a magazine. You throw it. Now you can use theirs. You don't have to readjust your hop up. That's very helpful on the field. So that was, like I said, we've been a team for 15 years, and we never thought about being sponsored. We're like, we don't need it, whatever, And now that we are, it's like it actually has helped us, in those two aspects. And then the Triforce Tactical. We actually have a training with them on the 23rd, which is cool because they're all like ex-military or currently serving police officers. So they're going to actually come out to our field. We have our home field in Medina, Ohio, and they're going to train us on all different kinds of stuff, room clearing, active shooter situations. And they're going to kind of cater it toward airsoft because I told them, like, I know with real steel, you can take an entire day on just trigger control, like how well you can pull that trigger and control your breathing and lining everything up. But that doesn't really apply for us in the airsoft world. So we asked them to cater the training to kind of go with that, which is kind of exciting that we're doing that with them. You can always be trained better. I don't care how long you've been playing airsoft. I've been playing 15 years. I honestly probably still learn something every time. Like, I should have turned around and looked behind me because 3 guys came up and just killed me. Like, why didn't I do that, So that's definitely some positive stuff that sponsorships have done for us. So.
Definitely jealous of the Triforce Tactical. Having a company train you is huge. Yeah. You'll have a massive impact at every game you attend now because you're going to have some tactical training that you can use. Being a homeowner or no longer serving or no longer serving the military or not being active in police or whatever, you get a bunch of tactical training and it's going to come in handy. But being able to play airsoft and put it to use every time you play is huge. It's going to be very advantageous to you this weekend, I'm sure.
Especially with that technical. Jeez.
Yeah, it's a beast. I watched your footage from Alabama, and it's awesome.
This is the most learning that we've ever had to do is since we bought the vehicle. Because it's totally different. Like, working with a vehicle is not like, it doesn't come second nature. Having a weapon in your hand, getting in and out, knowing when to stop, when to move forward, it's all new to us. So it's definitely our biggest learning curve. Like, even though it's massive and it's awesome and it has miniguns, it's still like, we went to Alabama last year, we got messed up. Like, we got messed up really bad because we didn't know how to use it effectively. We definitely were tenfold better this year. We also knew the AO, which helped. But yeah, I can't believe how much learning there is just in airsoft in general. People think, and I'm not to make fun of gamers, but I've seen so many gamers. They're like, oh, I would be so awesome at airsoft. I'll kill you. It's not like that, dude. Like,
there's so many more factors you have to worry about.
I don't want to pee in your Cheerios, but playing video games does not make you good at airsoft.
No, please pee in their Cheerios all you want. Please do.
Even being in the military is different, as far as, like, if you were just to come straight from the military to airsoft, it's still a learning curve on everything because, they teach you how not to get shot. In airsoft, it's like, you're going to get shot, but how much land can you take before you get shot?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. Plus, a huge thing that I've spoken to some guys that are vets that are getting into airsoft before, and I think one of the biggest learning curves for someone who's coming from using real steel and then using airsoft is the rifles. I mean, you're going from, they're going to have 2 completely different ranges, and they're going to shoot completely different because a bullet is not going to be affected by air as much as a BB is.
Yeah.
A BB that doesn't have much force behind it, the wind will completely blow away. Unlike a bullet, which it's not going to happen. I think that's probably the biggest difference that I could think of, or at least the most challenging, the one that's going to have the greatest learning curve, would be learning how an airsoft gun works, especially because the components behind it are so much different. I mean, now you're dealing with a gearbox and a motor, or a tank and a line and an HPA engine. Learning all that is totally new too to someone who's coming from that side.
Definitely, and you got to make sure you bring the right rifle to the event too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Bring the right one. I bring all of them. What do you mean?
Well, hit the field for 1 hour, then go to the range for the next.
I honestly don't think I've maybe out of 15 years I've had like 2 events where nothing broke. That's it.
Dang. Okay.
No, just not like major stuff, but like I feel like every airsoft game something breaks.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You fall and break your sight. Like somebody shoots out your scope. Your battery is not charged. You forgot to bring your memory card. Something always goes wrong, and the problem is the more stuff you have, the more problems you can have. So.
I'm surprised that I've been able to go from the Milwaukee event and the mall game and the I think the Joliet Liberation or prison game was the second one where I've run my new 416 and I haven't had anything broke.
Really?
It's weird. I'm not used to going consecutively to events and having nothing break.
Yeah.
At least gun wise.
Jeez, I'm jealous of y'all right now. I'm still trying to get my saw up and running.
Yeah, well, a saw is a whole
I
other
have-
beast, man.
Mm-hmm.
I had a brand new gun and the mag still didn't work. So I was just like, it's just airsoft. There's so many pieces and parts that honestly don't go together like you think they would, you know?
So
and the
seriously.
company makes you buy them, and then you get it to your house, and you're like, oh, this thread's not compatible. Thanks for telling me.
Yeah, no joke. Not to mention the lack of instruction guides. Good lord.
What else we got for questions there?
Just looking at comments here. I've got some comments from Pen Twins Vlogs. Zach or Nick, I don't know which one it is, who's talking. Says, I love cheater videos. They are fun to watch. I don't make a lot of them, but I've made 2. Each time I've talked to the players after they tried to fight me. I think all videos for Airsoft are cool and good, but I understand why people don't like them. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Like I said, I will not have a cheater video on my channel unless there's a obvious benefit to it. Then I very seriously doubt I'll ever publish one.
The crazy thing I saw, I don't know who this was. I don't know if you guys saw this. Or maybe I was just reading in the comments somewhere on a cheater video. Somebody actually got banned from a field because he posted a cheater video about the field. And I guess the field saw it as like a negative review. And they actually told me he couldn't come back. And
Wow.
Wow. I watched one, I don't know, a week or 2 ago that I was about to I was going to share it to Facebook, just with kind of a rant-like post. Was just going to be like, this is not how we should act, blah, blah, blah. Behavior that I will never endorse. It was, and I still have yet to verify one aspect, but the video was from, I think, like, not Code Red, but like, what's that big field in California? The major one.
SC Village or whatever?
SC Village, yeah. I believe that's what I'm thinking of. Where a player, I don't know, was peeking a doorway and shot a dead guy a couple times, and the dead guy just exploded on him, beat him up, like ripped his paintball mask off.
Oh my gosh.
And knocked him to the floor and was just wailing on him. They had to pull him off. And the title of the video was that he had actually brought a real pistol on the field with him. Now, I could I watched the full footage. I watched the clip that was posted originally by David Lee. And I didn't see any evidence of him pulling out a pistol or having a real steel with him. And then I found the full footage. It was like 20 minutes or whatever. And I watched the whole thing and still found no evidence of it. The guy was banned from the field, but it was crazy. I mean, I can't even imagine somebody sneaking something in like that and getting away with it, or just doing that in general. That's absolutely insane.
Honestly, good lord.
I've seen my fair share of crazy crazy airsoft videos.
No joke. And let's not forget all the times people are complaining about getting overshot while they're dead and they're standing in the middle of the field.
Oh yeah, I've had plenty of experiences while working as a ref or admin for Airsoft Republic where I've gotten lit up. One moment actually you reminded me of, Gabe, when you're talking about your technical. When I went to Scorched Earth, they had I think 4 different vehicles, 2 from each side, something like that.
We were there. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't. I didn't know you went to that one.
That was our first event with our technical, actually, Scorched Earth.
That's awesome.
I don't know how I missed it.
I had a moment, between there's that clearing between those 2 larger buildings. That was a very popular place for technical warfare.
Yeah.
There was one moment, not long into the game on Sunday, where I was standing in that clearing. I was standing and watching the two forces, NFA and crew, go after each other. And then technicals arrived, and one had a minigun and was just lighting the others on up.
That was probably us. We had a minigun.
I was about to say.
At that point, why I emphasized I was standing, because as soon as that happened, I got lit up completely. My entire arm just got sprayed. So I just took a knee and watched, which was awesome. But I remember one of the funniest parts was after NFA got eliminated there, their technical got knocked out. They drove off, and the building to the left of where I was standing, crew started advancing towards the other building, and the other building started fighting back. Well, it turned out, and I don't know if they figured this out, but the building that was fighting back, that was also crew. So green was fighting green for a while. It was a good 30-minute firefight before they realized who they were shooting at.
Oh my gosh.
I would pay a lot of money to go back to that place. Like, that's probably the only place I would pay some real dollars to go back, because I don't think anybody can get that place. I don't know why. But if another event organizer got that place, I would pony up the money, because that was so much fun. I had a blast.
I will say I couldn't before, but now that Airsoft Republic is no more, it's no longer a secret. They were supposed to go back to Tinley Park in the fall, and they were going to host, from what Austin told me, they were going to host a couple 100-player event, much larger than the previous one. I think they were going to do like a 500 or 600. No, maybe it was 3. I think it was like 300 people they were going to host, which was huge. Austin was blown away by the amount of people that he would need to even manage that size, because the most they've ever done is like 200 players.
Yeah. So another thing I want to hit on the sponsorship, which I think we kind of talked about a little bit, is about how you conduct yourself on the field. And one thing I mean by that, for example, we went to Red Rising. That was hosted by Battleborn. I don't know if you guys know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And the first day, we messed up the other team pretty bad, and like 20 guys left by the second day. So the numbers were stupid. It was, I think, 35-70. We literally outnumbered them by 2. You're talking about inside of a high school. So that amount of player advantage is gonna just destroy. I went up to the admin and I said, "Hey, there's 10 of us." I was like, "Do you want us to switch? Like, give us some black T-shirts and we'll go the other side," because it was like black and tan versus green, and we did, and then we got to destroy the green team that day. So, but they all like personally thanked us, like, "Hey, thanks for switching over." Like, basically, we gave the other team an opportunity to, have fun. That's the biggest thing. If you put yourself in a position like that, where the event organizer is going to notice, like, look, you're going out of your way to help people have fun. You know what I'm saying? You're not there to yell and shout and piss people off. It's at the end of the day, it's a game. We're all there to have fun. So, like I said, doing little stuff like that at events, especially larger events. We did that for Mere Tactical last year at New York, because both the vehicles were on one side. And I was like, "Hey, this is not going to be fun." I was like, "There's only 2 technicals, and we're both in the same team." I was like, "Do you want us to switch?" And we did. Now, obviously, it's not, you have to bring both uniforms if you're going to do something like that or whatever. They just taped our arms. But I think it definitely helps. People are going to notice that. Like, you and your team, or just you yourself, is going to go out of your way to make people have a better time. Whatever aspect that's going to be involved in the game. So that's just the example that I've seen, is that we were able to switch teams, just to make sure everybody had a good time.
At high school, a tricky place too. Once you're outnumbered, man, it's hard to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to play there twice now for Mir, at New Dawn 2 and New Dawn 3.
I remember that.
I led the tan side, and that was a challenge, especially because depending on, there was really only, we started either in the basement, in that room right outside the gym, or
Yep.
The top floor opposite side. So I think it was the library was the name of the room.
Polar, yeah, it was, because I remember New Dawn 2, I wanted to deploy there for my squad, and you were like, yeah, it turns out that's their spawn, bro.
Yeah, Kramer, at the first event that I went to there, New Dawn 2, Kramer, since allowed me to deploy, he said, pick a couple guys, and I can deploy them to wherever you want on the map. So I'm like, perfect. I've got 3 Six Ronin guys, Warden, Icy, and Rogue. I'm like, I know what I want to do. So I took a look at the map, showed them, and was like, hey, where do you guys want to go? And the library was the choice. So I went to Kramer. I'm like, hey, the library is where they want to start. Let's do it. And he goes, about that. That's the green spawn.
Ah.
And it's like, okay. So we chose a different room, and they ended up causing some damage. I got some complaints from Bryce about it, the opposing CO. That was a great event, but man, that high school, it's really challenging.
It's tough to navigate.
It really is. It's surprisingly easy to get lost. Like, it's such a small AO, but I had a hard time figuring out where things was the first time I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Second time was easier, but still, I got lost twice the second time I went. It doesn't seem like it's so easy to get lost, but man.
I want to talk about something as far as events too. It's funny because I wanted to post something about this, but this live video is the perfect example to say it. A lot of people put all their money and their resources in one big event a year, and then they do a bunch of small events like open plays. And I would say try to stray away from that, because if you put all of your resources in one big event and it rains or you don't have a good time, then you're going to be like, why am I playing Airsoft? I go to as many events as possible, big or small. And if you just always expect to have a good time, it might not happen. But if you expect that it's going to rain, you'll be like, whatever, I have an event next week, it might be better. But I think that puts a damper on a lot of people, is they play Airsoft and they go to this one event and they don't have a good time. And then they want like, well, I'm going to quit. I'm going to sell all my stuff. You can't assume every event is going to be great. You just can't. There might be poor leadership. The weather could play a factor. Just all kinds of different stuff. Your gun might break and you're 5 states away and you don't have a backup, something crazy, and you have to use this crappy, Walmart gun that you brought. So try to play as much as you possibly can. That's where you're going to have the best experiences. Probably the events that you didn't think were going to be the greatest, that might be the best event you went to all year,
Definitely. Yeah, make sure you're spreading yourself out there, and always expect rain at this point. Like, every event I've gone to, it's either rained and the field's just muddy as all get out, or it was in the process of raining. It's like, well, if it ain't raining, we ain't playing, right, boys?
I remember at Red Dawn, it was so muddy, especially inside that fort. Man, it was impossible to move. I wear big boots. I wear tactical boots that go. I think they're like 6 inch. No, they're more than. I think they're like 8-inch boots. And man, they almost came off in that mud. Surprisingly, they're pretty tight around my leg, and they still almost came off. That mud was crazy.
Yeah, no joke.
And when I went to the Joliet game too, it rained really hard the first day. Caused a lot of people to leave. We lost a lot of numbers that first day. I remember getting back that night and to my friend's house that we stayed at, and I took all of my gear, anything that I could, like shirt, pants, and some other stuff, and threw it all in the dryer. It was just soaked, completely soaked.
Bring backups.
Oh yeah.
That's actually the one thing I haven't done yet, and I feel stupid. I haven't invested in any rain gear.
Hey, like, me either. I'm on the same page with you.
Not even a poncho. Like, I'm just like, meh.
I'd recommend Frog Togs. I got like a Frog Tog poncho, and doesn't mix with the multicam, but it works pretty well, actually. You'd be surprised. Plus, it gives you that pretty cool covert looks your loadout. So just running around with your hood up and poncho flaring out from behind you.
Mm-hmm. I have the one thing
thing
along with that.
Go ahead.
Okay. The one thing along with that too is, I have for some reason, I don't know why I keep making this mistake over and over again, but I have not invested in a second set of multicam, tack pants and shirt. For some reason, I still have one pair. Yeah, I need to get a backup, but for some reason, I keep choosing other gear and stuff in front of it. Not good, but whatever.
Dude, I feel that though. I honestly feel that. Something that we haven't touched on yet, or maybe a little bit, but I think we should probably get a little bit more into is getting creative with sponsorships that meet needs for your team that aren't airsoft related. Masterkey, you were talking about it was Triforce Tactical, correct?
Yeah, Triforce Tactical.
Yeah, you're getting training to better yourselves on the field. You know, whether it's going to be in CQB environments or just improving your tactical prowess. You know, that is the first time I've ever heard a team looking outside of of the airsoft community and bringing a company in to help them with that. And now that company also has a whole new demographic that they can cater to.
Yeah.
One personally with Six Ronin that sponsorship we picked up is Strike Force Energy. Shameless plug incoming. It's basically like it's a veteran-owned company that has like these little packets of energy drink in it. It's not powdered, so we don't have any idiots trying to snort the stuff. But it helps us out on the field because you're regardless of whether it is hot and humid or got that Arizona heat or it's raining, you're going to get tired. So if you have something to help you with that, then good on you. So for people who are looking to get sponsored, like Masterkey and I were saying, make sure you have a reason for that sponsorship that's not, oh, I just want to be sponsored, because that's the dream, but there is a goal with every dream. There is a reason why you're doing it. So definitely, I'd say try getting creative with those sponsorships and find people outside of the airsoft community that you can bring into it, that can bring something new to the airsoft game, the airsoft field that hasn't really been brought in yet, or meets a need that in a way that helps you a lot more than just running to the store and picking something up real quick.
Yeah. So one thing that I kind of forgot to say that first question is how to get sponsored. Expect companies to say no. I probably had 8 companies tell me no when I first started like when I was actually started actively trying to get sponsored. I had a lot of places that said they weren't interested or we didn't meet their qualifications, whatever that would be, number of followers, your YouTube channel, just whatever they're looking for, you are not it. So don't expect people to just say yes. It might not happen. One of our sponsorships actually contacted us for that, which was cool. And at this point, I'm kind of done looking for them. I just wanted a few to kind of get us off the ground. And at this point, if somebody comes to me and asks, then that's, something I'll look into. But I'm not actively trying to get sponsors right now. Like I said, it was just kind of to get our team kind of well known, which is crazy because we've been around for 15 years, but we weren't really that well known until we actively tried to start getting well known on social media. But it definitely was hard. I mean, I don't think we even got our first sponsor until like 4 or 5 months after trying to get sponsored. So it's not, unless you know somebody, it's not going to fall into your lap. Don't expect it to be easy. You're going to have to put work in. You're going to have to actually try. If you're a full team, matching uniforms does help.
Mm-hmm.
People recognize you right away at the field, and that's something that helps too. Recognition, as far as getting sponsorships, people knowing who you are, is what you need. So
definitely. You need to be prepared to put in a lot of work, whether it's networking early on, in order to meet, so that you can meet those people and you build a relationship and a repertoire with them, in order to hopefully later down the line pick up that sponsorship, or just have the perseverance, and the willpower to be able to move past all those people who say no. I mean, a lot of people today, they they fail so many times and they give up because they didn't succeed. But as the saying goes, the road to success is paved with failure.
yeah.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Mm-hmm. So I got a comment here I want to address really quick before I go into the last question I've got. Angels of Death said you should always bring cheater footage directly to the field owner and refs rather than posting it for views.
Yeah.
I really like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Just because that can help make that field aware of that particular person or a couple people that are cheating. Plus, it gives them a chance to address it before, if that person still posts it or if they decide not to or whatever. It still gives the field a chance to address it before any of that. All right,
Definitely.
so got one last question for you guys.
Yeah.
We've talked about the benefits and the advantages of getting sponsored. We've talked about how to get sponsored, but a major question that I haven't seen answered by many people outside of this podcast is, what are the disadvantages of being sponsored?
Ooh, I like this one. I like it.
I already know what I'm gonna say, but if you
Same.
need time.
All right. Yeah, sure. I'll take this one. So I'd say one of the disadvantages to being sponsored would have to be how political things can get sometimes. Earlier, I was saying, you need to be careful with who you pick up as a sponsor, because you can't be all willy nilly and pick up two retailer sponsors, who specialize in the same thing, because it's going to be a conflict of interest. So, if say you're sponsored by high power airsoft BBs, and then you're also sponsored by uh, Elite Force BBs, that is going to put a lot of strain on both of your sponsors, and in the end, cause a rift between between you and the two of them, and ultimately, you may have to make an ultimatum. So it can cause. So, like I said, the politics can definitely be a con to being sponsored, and not to mention, you might come across the occasional person who might be sponsored by a rival company or a competitor, and they'll be trash talking you, or they'll be trash talking your sponsor, and you have to go about replying to that or acknowledging that in a certain way where, as we were talking about before, it doesn't make you or your sponsors look bad in how you represent them. So it can kind of end up being like a who's got the bigger stick contest, but truth be told, you just need to be able to roll with the punches with that. Don't let it bother you just because someone's trash talking you, but also be wise in who you're picking up as a sponsor, because who you pick up now may affect who you can pick up later, in order to make sure that you don't ruin those relationships you have with those businesses.
Good. Yeah. So it's funny. You said you have to be careful who you pick as a sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
To go off of that, you have to be careful who you pick to be on your team.
Exactly.
So we kind of have a very strict rule, and we've been. I think we've been amazing at enforcing it. Is no keyboard warriors. If you actively are instigating stuff online, if you're arguing with people, giving us a bad name in any way, we will not hesitate to not be associated with you, because there's no reason for it, and it just makes us look bad. And as soon as you get to that level of sponsorship, your scrutiny goes to here. Everybody's watching you. Everybody's looking at what you're doing. People are looking at you online. And the biggest thing, you will probably take more hate. I don't know why. but more people will probably hate you. And that's like a life lesson. Like, you're more successful than them. So just because they're not as far, they're gonna not like you, I guess. Because we definitely have, you have, I would say the majority is happy for you, but there's definitely the 10%ers that are like, I don't like you guys because you're sponsored. Why is that? I don't know. And then the other, I think, biggest negative thing about being sponsored, you just have to remember to have fun, because it kind of turns into a job, and you're like, are all 7 of my cameras going? I need to make sure I'm taking pictures. I need to make sure I'm posting every single week and tagging people, and it's like all this different stuff you have to do and stay on top of, and you just have to remember to have fun, because you know I'm not getting paid. I don't know if you're getting paid, but
No, not at all.
I don't make any money off of this. I get a few discounts, and that's it, which I'm fine with. And I'm willing to put in that extra work in order to get those discounts. So it just depends. Do you want to just keep having, you want to keep having fun, or do you want to do this extra work in order to get extra recognition, which most likely will not be able to quit your day job. You will still have to go to work. So I sometimes I literally will spend a whole day editing a video, that people may or may not watch. I don't know. I'll take a few hours editing photos because, I want those people to see themselves at a game that they were at. So that's the biggest drawback, I think, is you sometimes forget that you're there to have fun. You're not there to just take video and take pictures and talk to your sponsors. Like, don't forget you're there to play airsoft. You're there to shoot people. That's the biggest thing.
Exactly. It's that aspect of having fun out on the field, that will make sponsors that will make you more amiable towards sponsors. So don't lose that thing that elevated that interest in the first place.
Yeah.
It's a good way to lose interest in the sport if you're not having fun.
It's a good way to burn out too.
Yeah, you get burned out.
Yep, absolutely. Just touching a little bit on what you were talking about there, Gabe, is the whole networking, social media, editing videos, and editing photos, posting, constantly being on top of social media is absolutely huge. Of course, when it comes to getting sponsored and keeping sponsorships, but it can be a major drag. It's very time consuming. I can spend anywhere from an hour to 6 hours editing video. It all depends on the footage that I'm going to use and how much I get. The worst is when I came back from Milson West game back in March. I had, I think, 10 hours of footage. Yeah, I recorded. I would have liked to record like straight, but I realize now it would have been 40 hours of footage. I'm glad I didn't. So it was a struggle coming home and going through all that footage. Then I had to edit it and turn it into a video. Yeah. So I think the social media aspect can become a drag. It can be very time consuming, and can kind of start to get old if you're not having fun on the field, and then you have to push all the social media. It can get real old real fast.
Definitely. And I think I just want to quickly add on to that, getting sponsored may not be for everyone. Well, it definitely isn't for everyone. And it may not end up being what you thought it'd be. So to everyone listening to this, if you're not sponsored but you are trying to get there, make sure this is something you want to do, because there is a commitment you have towards another person or another group or another organization, and you are representing them. So, and there comes responsibility with that. So make sure that is something you're willing to do.
Yeah.
So I just got a question pop up here in the comment section from Penfold. He asks, so what is the ultimate goal with sponsorship? At what level do you stop trying to get more exposure? Is it worth the results?
I don't think there is an end game. I don't think you can ever stop, because as soon as you stop trying to get exposure, somebody's going to pass you up. And it's not, and that's not in the sense that it's a race. That's the whole thing. There is no end. it's you put in as much as you want to get out. You know, like for example, I play almost every single weekend. And that it involves more work for me because then I have to edit more. I have to take more pictures. I have to repack my gear. I have to buy more BBs. You spend more money. It's all up to you as what you want to do as far as how far you want to go. And then is it worth it? That's a really hard question. Is it worth it? I don't know. It depends what you want. If you want to have that sponsorship because you think it will help you, then yes, it's worth it.
Definitely.
I think if I can interject here real quick, I think a big part of is it worth it? I think what defines that is your attitude towards one getting sponsorship and being sponsored, and just how your experience goes. If you approach it positively and just focus on having fun and promoting people, then you will have a great time. But if you focus on just being sponsored and not having fun, then I think it can go a totally different direction.
Definitely. I think you definitely will get a lot of different answers from different people. For some people, they may regret getting sponsored. For others, they may not. I enjoy the fact that we have our sponsors with who we have them with. HP Airsoft, Justin, who runs it, he's a great guy, and he's just very easy to talk to, and he'll make sure he gets what you need if you're trying to get a certain item or whatever. But for the end game, there, like you said, there's no real end game. The moment you stop is the moment someone else may pass you up. But I think there can be one common goal with being sponsored, that is to continue to improve the airsoft community.
Yeah.
So so for personal goals that you're trying to reach, you may have reached them in your mind, but you don't want to lose that drive that got you to where you are in the first place. But if you're not trying to better the community via getting sponsorships, and having a voice in what products go out or who is now a new vendor in the community, if you're not trying to make it a better place, then I'd say you possibly have the wrong goal or even a bad goal in mind.
Yeah. And also, you have to think about being sponsored as your level of impact in the community goes up. So if you're a type of person that you think that you can make the community better, like you said, then maybe that's something you should go for. Because I think a lot of my content, a lot of other people see that don't play airsoft, and I would say that my content has probably led people to getting into airsoft, which, like you said, that may be one of the goals. At first, it probably wasn't my goal to get other people in, but the more people to shoot, it's always better, right?
Oh, exactly. Exactly.
So always grow the community if you can. Always grow the community.
Just to so my answer to the question, one of the first things that popped in my head, the reason that I pursue sponsorships is to play more. I mean, that was my entire purpose when I first started playing. Not long after I started, I just fell in love with the sport, and after watching and seeing so many airsoft YouTubers that play full time, like this is their thing, this is their life, I immediately wanted that, and it took me some time to figure out social media and how to get to that point, but I knew that's what I wanted to do. I want to be playing airsoft full time. That's my reason for getting sponsorships. But another reason that I realized that popped into my head from answering the question here, that I've realized more over the past several months is, end game for me is playing airsoft full time. But another end game for me is my contribution to the community, bringing in new players and providing educational content for people in the airsoft community and people that are looking to join the airsoft community. So content that can inform and help people that want to get involved but don't know how to start. I think a lot of posting content that can help those players. I can come across my Instagram or my YouTube and find a video or something that gives them an answer to a question that they have. You know, how can I get involved, or what's the best gun to buy, or how do I start? Just simple questions that they haven't been able to find an answer to, or just haven't found a good answer to, or one that applies to them. That's one of my biggest purposes in airsoft. I've realized over the past several months is just helping the community. Something I tried to start with my old blog. I was posting. I focused on the Midwest, and it was lists of fields, lists of shops, lists of event organizers. I was just trying to get out as much information that I didn't see already out there. I just reviewed each field that I could find in the Midwestern states, just to give the Midwest airsoft community a resource to be like, hey, now I have this list of fields that I can go to. You know, I didn't know they existed before. I just did my research and put it out there as just a resource, you know.
I was gonna say, to go off of that, the more well known you are, the more questions you get. I probably get at least 3. This is just an average, but maybe 3 to 5 questions a week from people that I've never even met, and I'm more than happy to answer them. You know, if I can. You know, somebody says, hey, what field are you playing at? Hey, what kind of vest do you wear? You know, what do you recommend for this? And I'm more than happy, because I've bought my fair share of crap. I have so much stuff that was just terrible, and I'm more than happy to tell people, you know, what to buy and what not to, because I have a pile of stuff that I would never recommend to anyone. Mm-hmm. And I think, kind of to wrap it up, as far as being sponsored, the biggest thing you have to do is realize if you can commit the time. It's a huge time commitment, and you just have to be able to schedule that. You know, maybe your job doesn't allow for that. You know, maybe you have other responsibilities in life that doesn't allow you to make up that much time consistently. You know, it's not like you one day and then you're sponsored. Like you said, you have to put in the work. So I think the biggest thing is, can you put in the time, and is it worth it to you? It's worth it to me. I have the time, so that's why I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm. I think we can make that. You answered it for yourself, at least. The last question I'll create here is why. You know, just what's your reason? I think Gabe kind of answered it on his part, unless he has anything to add. But what about you, Warden? What's your reason?
Well, Micah, I think you would actually know this one. It's I'd say a large reason of this now is definitely for Reaper. Gabe, I'm not sure if you've heard about this, but last year we actually lost our team president and our founder, Reaper. He passed away, and we had to make some changes in leadership. This was, and our team was his baby. He was always looking for ways to, get more recognition out there on the field. You know, how he could be a better influence on the field, and how we could make that team a better influence out on the field. And even though he's gone, you know, this team is a part of his legacy. So I'd say part of the reason why we do what we do is to continue to carry on his legacy and his memory.
I'm busy. Excuse me for 1 second, guys.
Gosh dang it, Micah! In the middle of a emotional moment here.
Yeah, I just ruined it.
Honestly, I'm not sure if we
That's crazy though. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah,
sorry to hear that.
Thanks. It was really unexpected, and I don't think any of us were prepared for that. But even with him gone, you know, we now got 2 sponsorships, and we are working our way towards continuing to be a force for good in the community. So yeah, I'd say biggest reason now is to do right by him and his vision for the team.
Yeah. I wonder if he's coming back. Where'd he go?
Honestly, I don't know, if he left, does that mean we get his channel?
Oh, we got free reign.
Dude, seriously.
Oh, I guess that's the end of it.
Oh, his PC ran into a problem.
All right. Well, I will say goodnight to you, sir. And
all right.
This will end our live stream.
Definitely.
Have a good night,
to you
everyone.
as well. Peace.
Peace.